Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is March 4th, and right now we are looking at the visible satellite imagery with a combination of Doppler radars. You can see the frontal system pushing up into the Willamette Valley. Here it comes into Washington, Seattle Metro, some rainfall starting over the next couple of hours. A little bit of instability behind this front could kick off a thunderstorm or two. Not too big of a deal. Then we'll take a look at what is to come because we may dry out for some areas for a few days, but we've got some more weather rolling in here as we go towards this upcoming weekend and then through the extended forecast. That deep troughing continues to show up here across Pacific Northwest, bringing much more active weather. We'll dive into those details as we go through the video this morning. I created this new channel, Worldwide Weather Watch. Look, we're already at 650 subscribers. Go out and check this out. There's going to be a learning curve until I get my workflow system down here, and we'll just have to check out what exactly we are going to be doing on a daily basis, because it should be fun. We'll do some educational stuff. We'll pick out some of the most interesting things across the planet and kind of talk about them. I don't know if I'll do these videos daily, but I'll try to do them as often as I can whenever I have time. And I also have the California Weather Watch channel for those of you who don't know about that yet as well. So much appreciated if you would subscribe. Now take a look across Pacific Northwest. You can see we don't have much going on. The frontal system is moving through a kind of a garden variety frontal system, maybe a lightning strike behind it. But as far as winds are concerned, this is not any kind of major windstorm or anything of that nature. You can see some very active weather across the central portion of the USA, down across some of the south. You've got Louisiana, Arkansas, East Texas, and southeast Oklahoma under a tornado watch right now. So taking a look here at this frontal system, this is 500 millibar heights, 18,000 feet. So there goes today's frontal system. A lot of this energy moving into California, but it's going to keep precipitation going across Oregon as well here for the next couple of days. But we dry out for a bit. You can see the ridge setting up, but then this atmospheric river starts to roll into western BC, and it really is targeting western BC with some very heavy rainfall amounts, including Vancouver Island. Just absolute huge amounts of rainfalls. It looks like this atmospheric river wants to stall out right across Vancouver Island. And how much of that will include some of the Olympic Mountains here in Washington, I'll show you that here in a moment. But you can see then the troughing sets up after that, and look at this monster trough, strong onshore flow, very active pattern, and hopefully this can start to bring some big snowfall totals across our higher terrain. We desperately need it. During this La Nina year, we are below normal for some areas. Not a good year, especially being a La Nina year across the higher terrain. And you see that trough hanging out there for a bit as well, and get reinforced as we go on into about March 14th, and there's 15th as well. Looks to remain active. So if we take a look at the European, this one goes out about 144 hours. Today's frontal system moving through the region there, and then maybe a little bit of instability behind that. But then we get the storm system setting up over California, and that still includes some of Oregon here. You still see some showers hanging on as we go through the day Wednesday. Then we go through Wednesday night into Thursday morning, those showers dropping back down into southern Oregon. And then we start to watch for this next system as we do dry out for a couple of days. It's a good thing we get that break here, because look what's coming for western BC. These are 3-hour chunks, and look at these amounts just absolutely hammering Vancouver Island and western BC. My goodness, there's going to be flooding potential with that if that does occur. And then this slams into the Olympic Mountains there as well. But by that time, this front starts to degrade and weaken as it moves across some of Washington and Oregon. But my goodness, if I scroll backwards, look at Vancouver Island just completely under the gun. Be prepared for this here, folks. And let me just back this up and we'll do the timing on this. This is Friday afternoon when the rainfall really starts to ramp up across Vancouver Island. It just continues all the way through Saturday, all the way on into Sunday. And then we go on into Monday morning, and it's still raining probably by the time we go into Monday morning. So yeah, very intense precipitation totals there coming for portions of western BC and especially Vancouver Island. So just quickly showing this here, we don't have much to worry about in the way of winds. There are some gusty winds eastern Oregon, some of Idaho and the east slopes of the Cascades at coastal areas, but just into the 40s. Not a big deal. No big windstorm here for the next 60 hours. And if we take a look at surface-based Cape, this is the high resolution rapid refresh, and you can see some of this instability moving across the area. You cannot rule out a lightning strike or two, mainly across portions of Washington. I'll show you the SPC on that here in a moment as well, but not too big of a deal. It's easy to say unless you're underneath one of those lightning strikes anyway. Now looking at composite reflectivity is what the Doppler radar may look like here as we go through the next 18 hours. There goes the frontal system up and across the region. A little bit of instability behind there could trigger a lightning strike or two. You see that cell moving across the McKean County there, and you see additional storms. Well, I shouldn't call them storms. We'll call them showers here as we go through this evening as well, kind of rolling up across the area. Now, if we take a look at lightning flash density potential, this is the high resolution rapid refresh. And you can see kind of showing that little bit of lightning potential here across mainly western Washington. The hurt doesn't show too much down across Oregon, and that could get up into southwest BC here as well. And if we take a look at the SPC, it does show just for the Washington coast and kind of Vancouver Island and down across the Oregon coast. It doesn't really show it inland there, but there is that potential for Seattle and some of western Washington. Now, total precipitation in inches. Now we get to see what is coming for Vancouver Island. There goes today's frontal system here. It drops a couple tenths of an inch for Seattle, maybe a little bit less for Portland. And then we wait and we dry out a little bit here. But in the meantime, there is still going to be some showers going on across some of southern Oregon, southern Idaho, as we go into Wednesday night into Thursday as that system pushes off to the east, and then the next system starts to arrive for western BC. And here we go on the day Friday, really start to ramp up this precipitation amounts. Look at this, it's absolutely funneling. The atmospheric river axis is just right into Vancouver Island. Some areas showing 8 to 10 inches of precipitation. Same thing for western BC. That would cause definite flooding concerns there, and then it starts to move down towards the Olympic Mountains there. But by that time, it will be on the weakening stage as it moves towards Washington and Oregon. If we look at total snow-Kachura ratio, not a good look here. We do get a little bit for some of the higher terrain of the Cascades. You can see there's some better amounts across southern Oregon down into southern Idaho here. But then the next atmospheric river rolls in here. And this is mainly higher elevation stuff. We're not looking at any lower elevation snowfall. And all the way through Sunday night, that's not a good look there for the next 6 days. And hopefully that trough that does develop, if it does, we're crossing our fingers for that. We need to get this snowpack going here because we're starting to run out of time a little bit. You can still pick up some really decent amounts as you go through the month of April for the higher terrain. But, we really need to be building it up now if we can. Now, looking at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, this goes out 46 days. So you can kind of see the slow, steady, tedious increase in our daily maximum temperatures here. This is 6-hour maximum temperature there, but you can kind of see as you go on in through the end of March and April, we do start to warm things up a bit there. So it's kind of a long process there. We go through some fake spring periods here for sure as we go through the month of March, no doubt, because you can stay pretty chilly all the way on in through April. And even into May, sometimes you can get some deep troughs around. But anyway, looking at the extended forecast, 500 millibars. So there is today's frontal system there. And then a lot of that energy down into southern Oregon and California. And then the atmospheric river starts to set up as we go through Friday. You notice that trough, another big system for California hanging out. But then look at this, just wants to be right off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. And we desperately need this for the mountain snows, as I just mentioned. And this one might hang out to the 12th, 13th, 14th, and kind of gets reinforced and just hangs out as we go through mid-March there. That would be March 16th. So I've been showing that on a daily basis, so I thought I'd just continue to show it as long as it continues to show that trough. And if you remember, it did sniff out that trough as we went through the month of February well in advance also. Now, 6 to 10 day temperature outlook through March 13th, below normal signal. There is the above normal precipitation signal, below normal signal, 8 to 14 day all the way through March 17th, and the above normal signal all the way through March 17th as well. That should make sense with that deep trough setting up across much of the west coast of North America. And again, one more reminder, Worldwide Weather Watch. I put out my first video last night. There will be a learning curve. We'll probably go through some tough times trying to make sure how we're going to do this. I don't know if I'll do the videos daily. I'll do them as I have time, but it should be fun. We'll do educational things. We'll check out some crazy weather events around the world. So subscribe if you would. Otherwise, click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow. We'll break everything down, and I will talk to you guys then.